talk about the sacred cow of spirituality, and particularly non-duality. It is this idea that I am awareness, okay? And when we get deep enough into the spiritual path, we hear this many times, right? You are not the character, you are awareness. Ah, okay, I'm awareness, that's it. But let's just slow down a little bit. Because I want to take the opportunity to throw a little stick in the wheel on this BS. And by BS, I mean belief system. Because the moment that the mind grabs onto that phrase, I am awareness, it actually, in a sense, turns away the very thing that one is setting out to discover, right? And so we're going to get into this today. And this isn't about arguing about spirituality. This isn't about me saying everyone else is wrong and I'm right and I figured it out. No. No, please. This is just about clearing up some confusion around words and pointings that keep people seeking for 10, 20, 30 plus years. Okay? So the main teaching that we often see, one of the most popular ones when it comes to non-duality and awakening teachings, is this pointing of abiding in the awareness, right? Becoming aware of the awareness. So if I spend enough time aware of the awareness, I will awaken. Something will shift. And I'm not saying that this can't happen for some people, but I feel very comfortable to call out this pointing because this is something that I practiced for over 10 years. Abiding in the awareness with this promise that I was told that if you just, I even had one teacher say, it's kind of like you're manifesting awareness. It's like you're focusing on the awareness and then it manifests into your awareness, basically. And I'm not saying all teachers are saying that, but there's a lot of kind of misconstrued ideas out there that we hear from other teachers, and then those just become beliefs of other people, and then it just kind of gets passed on like telephone, and it just becomes a whole nother belief system, and it just becomes, oh, just become aware of the awareness. But what ends up happening is because it is a doing, because it is a practicing, it makes one continue to wait and have an expectation about if I do this, then this will happen, right? But what are you without the past and the future right now? What are you without the need to get anywhere right now? There is no you that abides in the awareness, because the you that you think you are that is abiding in awareness is the very thing that non-duality is apparently intending to show you that you are not, right? So when we get this concept like, I am the awareness, right? Or I am the consciousness, or I am the self, or I am the I am, right? The great I am. The mind begins to objectify this concept, and then instead of actually experiencing or going into this wordless mystery that's always here, it says, oh, I'm awareness. Yeah, I'm awareness. I figured it out. And I see this a lot in the calls, and it's, by no fault of anyone's, but, I can even bring people into this like silence and space, and then I'll be like, okay, what's here? And they're like, oh, it's the awareness. Yeah, but is it that word awareness? What are you without that word awareness right now? Because awareness is just a concept, right? It's just a word. It's just a sound that we've given meaning to and that we've attached some kind of divine story around. But if it was as easy as that, then anyone who said, I am awareness, would just know it. Oh, I'm awareness. Or, oh, I'm the consciousness. Okay, next. When's awakening gonna come for me? I know I'm awareness. I see I'm awareness. Yeah, but what is awareness? It's not that easy. It's not as easy as just slapping a word on it, right? Because all words are made up. They are tools, right, to help us move through life, but they are inherently an expression of duality. So we're trying to slap all of these words onto what actually cannot be explained through a word, and then the mind makes it a thing that it needs to chase after, that it needs to realize. But what are you without words right now? What's here that's not a word? What's here that doesn't need a word to exist, that doesn't need a definition to be here? What's here effortlessly? It can feel maybe like a discovery to the mind, but in a sense, it's really just the only thing that's ever been here the whole time, right here, right now. You, this, happening now. Not if I do this, then I will find it. Not sometime in the future when I prove my worth, when I'm holy enough, when my mind is relaxed, when I receive the grace of a guru. That is all levels and constructs and made up concepts. What's here right now that's not a concept? What's here right now that doesn't need to be learned in order to exist? And this is really my approach that I take to help people come out of not only seeking, but thought identification in general. I mean, they're very interwoven, is just going super direct. And not to say that this is the only way that works, but it's what worked for me, and it's what I feel passionate about because it is very simple and it's not future oriented. So creating this whole idea of awareness, it very easily, like the mind can't help turn it into another identity, like another spiritual identity. Like, I'm not a character. I'm not a person. I'm awareness. That's it. And we need to tell everyone as well, right? Awareness. You got to be aware of it, or you need to be present. I'm in presence. I'm in the present moment. I keep my mind in the present moment. And then you just, like, I don't know. For me, I can say this, and especially for my Virgos out there, watching, constantly watching, analyzing, right? I've talked to people that have like made their minds have created like an OCD thing where it's like, okay, am I aware of the awareness? Where is the awareness? I got to be aware of it. I got to think about it, right? I can't find it. When's it going to happen? Oh, I felt a sensation. Is it happening now? Right? Just more unnecessary mental stimulation. Future, waiting, and the mind turns it into a job. Turns it into somewhere to get. And this is the major frustration with the spiritual path, is because there's just a story associated with it about something that's going to come and a reason why it hasn't come yet and how I can get there. But you're already it. There's no there. Take away the concept of getting there right now. What are you? Right? So if you go to your direct experience right now, Take away the past and the future. Go to what's here without the past and the future. Is this awareness? Is it? Is this direct moment awareness? Is it consciousness? What are you without that concept of awareness right now? They're just words, right? It doesn't matter. Don't get hung up on any of the words. Even like this kind of, I don't know, in a sense, what's the word? Apologist? Non-duality apologist perspective of, oh, well, being aware of the awareness is a valid stage until you're ready to let go of the awareness. You just made that up too. How do you know? Why do you need a word in order to understand the wordless? Maybe it can play out like that, but there's no hard, fast rules to anything. What are you without all of your concepts right now? What are you without awareness right now? What are you without this observer? Take away the observer. Take away this position that I am somewhere watching. Take away the concept of that right now. Mind creates the duality. It creates the word observer and observed, right? Inside, outside. It wants to find a position. And that's fine because it's here to help us navigate life. But it oversteps its limitations when it tries to pinpoint something that is just like into a realm where it cannot go. It came out of this wordless space that you are. So it's not about finding the awareness or identifying with the awareness or abiding with the awareness. Take away all of those mental positions, right? It's just another expression of how the mind is trying to orient itself to duality in order to discover non-duality. This is a free floating. This is an I don't know. This is a surrender, but there's no one surrendering. It's an experience, or it's a seeing that the one who believed it could surrender, that it should surrender, was not actually real. So the surrendering unfolds naturally when you begin to see that there is no one actually surrendering, or there's no one that's actually needing anything more than this very moment, that was the illusion that non-duality was trying to dispel. But it's a very challenging subject to talk about. And that's why for many spiritual seekers, we can get really lost in all of these concepts. And I think a lot of the teachers, they mean their best. And a lot of them, yeah, they help. And a lot of this stuff can help, but it didn't work for me. And this is why I share the direct pointing. The direct pointing so you can experience the directness that's here before the mind. It took me 12 and a half years to see this. Even this concept of like, there's no one here. I listened to non-duality for a decade until I actually experienced what that felt like. And even after I experienced what that felt like, and this was before I met my mentor, my mind started forming all these stories about it. And thinking that it needed to navigate its own demise. Right? And this whole abiding in the awareness, or whatever kind of spiritual seeking addiction that you're in, or not in, or know someone who's in, is really just a wild goose chase, because the abiding practice is like a mental position trying to find a made-up concept. A mental position being the aware of the awareness, and the concept being awareness itself. So it's trying to hold a mental position about a made-up concept. Why do you think it makes people so frustrated? Because it's all just thought-based. But what are you without your concepts right now? What are you without the observer right now? What are you without time right now? The mind wants to turn the spiritual journey into a job, into a doing. And that's just normal because that's how we've been conditioned to function in this reality, where there's a lot of people that are, leading and believing they are the thoughts, and they raise us and they create the environment that we grew up in, and they create our media and our education and all of that. So it makes sense. But at the same time, the way out is seeing that the prison was just a thought called I. What are you without the I right now? Take away the I. Take away all of the spiritual concepts, all of the things you've learned, all of your memories. What are you without comparison? What are you without seeking? What are you without waiting for a shift? What are you without needing to know what you are? What if there's no answer? It's like with all of this learning, like you're learning what, should I say this? Okay, I'll say it. It's like you're learning and you're reading all these books about what an orgasm is, and you're researching it and you're finding out the biological expression of it, and you think you're an expert, but you've never actually had one. There's a big difference, right? There's the mental knowledge, which is kind of like, it's like almost a layer removed from the actual experience of it. It's like a translation. It's an interpretation with this tool of sound that we've attached more sounds to and attached meanings to. It's kind of this very interesting, the mental realm is like very interesting. It's very like descriptive and poetic, and it has all this meaning to it, but it evaporates the moment you speak it. And then it just turns into memory. The moment I say these words, they're gone. And there's a memory of them. But is learning about an orgasm the same thing as having it? Do you actually know what it is unless you've actually physically experienced it before? And isn't it funny, actually, I was reflecting on this the other day, how the word know, like to know something, I know it's spelt differently, but in the same time, it is the same word as no, as yes and no. I'm probably not the first person to figure this out. But it's almost like knowing is not really knowing. It's like, oh, you think you know, but in that word is no. It's not the full picture, right? It's an interpretation. It's a layer above. It's like reading a Rumi poem in English versus reading a Rumi poem in Arabic, I think is what he spoke. How much more beautiful would that poetry be to read it in his own language? Right? So what are you really? And I get it. I get it why people say you are awareness or you are consciousness. I see that. It's not like you're saying you are a potato. It's not like completely like the most opposite thing. I could see how that could easily sound true, right? But what you are really cannot be said. It can't. So you know what? Don't give it a name. Don't give it a name. A name spoils it. A defined God is a confined God. You don't need to define infinity. You don't need to define magic. And even those isn't really what I'm talking about. It's just what's here. And even take away the word here. Take away the word this. It's not about the words. It's not about any kind of practice or future-oriented activity that has been explained to you in words, in mental constructs that maybe sounds logical. Oh, if I abide in the awareness, I just aware of the awareness, then I will know myself as this thing called awareness. Yeah, but what is that? Can you point to it? Can you show it to me? Can you find its center? Can you give any other word for it to help me find it other than just this label awareness, just this stamp awareness? So you are not awareness. You are not even you. There's this empty capacity for life that is impersonal, that's free of story, that's free of should and shouldn'ts, that's free of I will or I did or I want to. And it is really your default orientation. It's here regardless if you're in thought identification or not. But it can be seen or known more clearly, the piece of it, the piece of this directness, when the mind is bypassed, when the mind is no longer trying to find it. It can't go there. Don't bother. Don't let it go there. Don't give it a name. Don't associate a quality with it. It doesn't need your little human, puny mind, no offense, to know it. It does not need to be known. It doesn't even need to be discovered. But for those who are interested in self-realization, what are you without language? What are you without your beliefs? What's here if there's nothing to find?